Okay. I've had this game of Dwarf Fortress running for months, and I kind of just screwed it up because I read that Toady said it would be perfectly fine to update the game and then just move your save over to it, and then I continued on this save for like a month, and then I realized that the save no longer has migrants or visitors or invasions, and my people are pretty much dying. We had 150, we're down to 70, and they're just being picked off one by one. So this game is over. I'm going to start a new one in a better environment, but let me just go over. Let's have a second Dwarf Fortress tour, since the last one I did like 2 or 3 years ago about the glass pyramid I was trying to build. Okay, this place is called Arrowbelted. It's half the map is haunted, so anything that dies on it comes back as a zombie, which is great. I wanted a challenge. Let's see. This is where we were trying to build the bridges. This is the shit. Oh yeah, the surface is on fire. Fuck. That's awesome. Better not have paused. Yeah. Yeah, the surface is on fire. I don't know what Toady did. It's been a while since I played this, since the glass pyramid, but now every time a colossal beast or something appears on the surface, or anywhere really, even in the caverns, they don't do shit except stand around on the edges of the map. I don't know why. It's stupid. I have like dragons, bronze colossi. There's a fire-breathing cockatrice that's flying around. There's 2 fire-breathing giant monsters on the surface. They keep burning everything down, pissing off all the elves who keep bitching at me. Not that I give a shit, because I'll just kill them all. Not that it matters, because I don't even get invasions on this anymore. Here's our fishing. This is where we do our fishing and collect water from the creek. It goes underground. No access to it except from underground. Bridges. Here's a trade depot where we laugh at the foreigners getting annoyed and sometimes killed by zombie animals, mostly ravens and capybaras and the occasional horse, water buffalo. Zombie horses, by the way, totally. I watched a zombie horse kill half of a goblin army, so they are no bullshit. This is what's this statue of? Here's the main entrance to the fort here. This is the fortress of some guy. It's a statue of the dwarf we appointed to the role of hammerer. Hammerer is basically like he just uses a hammer to smash people to shit as part of a punishment when they commit a crime. And the hammerer kept killing people, so I actually had to remove that. We've not had a hammerer in a while. Yeah, wall. We just have 2 archers constantly patrolling this wall, constantly shooting at zombies, whatever the fuck. The surface is always burning. There's a tower here. I put a catapult on top of it, and then I realized catapults suck. I thought I could rain stones down. Here is the ruins of where we first started our civilization. This is basically like the labor camp while we worked on the underground city. There is an underground city, by the way. But yeah, we totally moved everything out of the ruins. These are ruins now. This is where the old barracks was. No, wait, this was the old bar, tavern with the kitchen, and I converted it into a barracks at some point, and then now it's nothing. At some point, 2 zombie water buffaloes are now stranded there. There's, what the fuck is this? They just sealed them in there. What's this? What kind of... There's a dwarven zombie there. We walled all this off. I don't know, I'm pointing at my monitor in real life as if you can see it, because I'm retarded. Because at some point I wanted to dig trenches, and I wanted to make trenches in a moat. And, like... But the problem is I started my my town too close to the surface. I'm tired as shit. And, yeah, that limited my options to make a moat, because they'll just go down and be able to walk into the fortress from the surface, whatever. There's also another kind of glitch where all this garbage is just all over the surface and my dudes won't collect it because they're stupid, because of bugs. Look, okay, hold on, I just saw something. Yeah, look at all this crap here. There's like so much crap. And we just can't get any of it. It's totally pointless to buy from caravans anymore. So that's fucked too. That's fruited too. I need to stop swearing. I already forgot that I was trying to do that. This is where the old farm was. Yeah, here's the this is our first underground river that would turn the water wheels here to the millstone and the screw press for the stuff that we use those for. Here's our first temple. We still use this for one of the gods. I don't remember which one. The warm chapel. Where's the thing that? What's the? Here's the thing. The Monastery of Dusk. Okay, which one's that? To Uvel. Who is Uvel? Is it one of the statues? I've frequently built a bunch of marble statues to the gods or deities, put them in their own temples dedicated to them, because I thought it was a cool idea. Yeah, these are the ruins. They're pretty much totally abandoned, except the temple. Doing? Oh, cleaning. Is there... Do they have a stair? No, there's stairs. Okay. That's it for the ruins. And then we went... Oh, there's our farm there. There's our farm. We're gonna move to another one. You'll see it. Stockpiles. The 2 barracks. We still use the 1 barracks to the south here. Yeah. How does this work? Yeah, there's this convoluted passageway to where the captain of the guard's house used to be. Here's when the merchants started getting glitched out. I had to channel them down into the fort. I just kept trying to dig these giant pits and drop them several levels. And to break their bones and their animals. Like I built like a mine track, and I kept pushing a mine cart at them, trying to run them over, but it actually made them jump. Yeah, see, there's stuff left over. Actually, I got them to jump down here where I built a bunch of spikes to impale them on. And then my dumbasses, look, there's an adamantine spear and a masterpiece adamantine spike just sitting there. The most valuable material in the game. There's masterwork items over there, and they're just leaving it there because my game's fucked, and I can't get DF hack to work, so it's screwed. I guess this is one of the pits where I was going to start throwing animals, captured stuff down for a laugh. There's the first cavern, yeah. This is the first cavern section. Here's the hall of traps that people would have had to pass through to get into the cavern. Yeah, that wasn't working out. Caverns are actually fucked. Oh yeah. Wow, I'm really tired. I really did not want to do this, but I just feel like I have to. I don't know why I feel like I have to. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of resources in the caves, plus the fact that zombies will just continuously accumulate forever. Everything that dies will just sit on your map as a zombie forever, just draining your processor, slowing down the frame rate. So I actually would try to go out and kill them all, but so far, as far as I could notice, it wasn't doing shit to save my frame rate. But I didn't know that for a while. I still had the false hope that I was somehow preserving my frame rate by going on these anti-zombie purges, which wasn't working out. It was stupid. It was all dumb. Oh, here's where the sewer system in the underground city would have been dumping the water, but the screw pumps don't seem to be working. Here's the first burial area. Get the menu out of the way. And first burial area. I actually had to stop using coffins, and I'll probably explain that in a second. Yeah, you can see down to the south is the pump stack. It goes on for like 50 Z levels, which is outrageous. It was a pain in the ass to make. It was a pain in the ass. It's extremely tedious to do. I can't explain how tedious it is. It sucks. Look at all these webs that we can't collect because these bitch of a zombie hordes are such a bitch to deal with. And for some reason on my game, if you open up a cavern and then close the door to the cavern, your doors will just stand around doing jack shit except nourishing themselves and sleeping, because they'll be stuck in an infinite loop of trying to put stuff in the stockpile that is behind the wall or outside of their burrow. And it doesn't matter if you forbid it or not, they will actually just be fucked. They will. It's so dumb. I couldn't figure out why. Here's where the water from one of the underground lakes drains down into. Have some spikes to deter monsters from trying to get down in there. There's also a well, so it's cool, I guess. Yeah, oh, here's something interesting. Maybe I should go down to the city first. This is kind of stupid what I'm doing. as boring as it already is, just go down to the city. I'm actually going to explain pretty much everything that I can, though. So, this is the great city, the underground city of Arrowbelted. Here, to the northwest, this is in the center is the main plaza. Well. Extremely valuable wood statue. Statues everywhere. Roads made of orthoclase. To the northwest is the hospital. To the north of the hospital is the library / temple to the deity of scholarship. Because I was trying to make I wanted my librarians, my scholars, to be like in this like scholarship cult that it was just it's not something you can. It's just something that you role play. It's not a real factor. Here's the general temple, the temple to all gods. You can just for general prayer and meditation. I have a statue to each deity. The statue of. So here's the statue. Kesting Shimmer controls the deity of the sky, the sun, the light, and the dawn, who is a male dwarf. The statue Kadol, deity of mountains, depicted as a male dwarf. Id, the deity of metals, depicted as a female dwarf. Autumn, the deity of jewels and fortresses, a male dwarf. Luke, page prophet, the deity of scholarship, depicted as a female dwarf. Uvel, the deity of animals, plants, and the rain, depicted as a female wombat. Takes the form of a wombat for some reason. It's probably a demon pretending to be a deity. Here's the big ass. I also built lines of chairs to pretend that it's an actual church. I even made the ceiling higher for immersion, for my own immersion. It makes no difference. I just think it looks cool. If you go down to the basement, that's the catacombs. We actually had to phase out using coffins because the zombies would not stop randomly rising from their coffins and killing people. So we burned all the bodies and replaced all the coffins with slabs. We just engrave their names on slabs so that they don't come back as ghosts and be dicks. There's the tombs, the tomb to the Baron and the tomb to the Queen. This pretty much covers everyone who died so far, except the other catacombs, which don't have a zombie problem, so I don't see a point in disturbing them. All these yellow circles are all wells, because they're all made of orthoclase, so they're circles. Here's the tavern. Here's the kitchen. Here's the food. Here's the food. Here's more food. Tons of food. That's still not even enough room. Here's all of our instruments. All of them. These are randomly generated instruments that follow a general logic, like there'll be some kind of drum, but the materials, stuff. Like I don't even care. Who cares? They're like. The only instrument worth mentioning is the adamantine Shoshin, and I'm pretty sure it's just a giant drum. But it's to an extent made of adamantine. It's covered in so many engravings and encrustments and decorations. It's a stationary percussion instrument of an hourglass stone drum with a leather head which rests on a ceramic stand. The musician strikes. It's a drum. It's just a drum, and it's kind of made of adamantine. It is worth 2,218,800 wealth. And what is the average wealth of another instrument? let's see, 100, 200, 2,000, 220, 300, 350, 70. Okay, let's go back to that one. 2,218,800 wealth. So yeah, that's actually legitimately one of the things I'm kind of mad about having to abandon this fortress is that ridiculously valuable instrument. It's fucking bullshit. It's so ridiculously overvalued. It's like the most valuable thing we have. It's more valuable than every other instrument, yeah. It totally blows out everything. It's crazy. Look at that. Adamantine battle axe. It is nothing compared to that. Nothing even gets to 1,000,000. Except that. That's crazy, my man. My main man. Oh, I can't believe you're still watching this or skipping through it. This is probably the second most. It doesn't even get to 1,000,000. It's just a cone-shaped adamantine helmet. Is that for a gnome from RuneScape to wear? That's an obscure reference to a stupid meme. Let me get to the main event. Here's our castle, our underground castle. It was going to have its own moat of either water or lava. This is the throne room. Master silver throne. Oh god, this is going to be so much to explain. It's got its own drawbridge. It's got a line of statues. It's got its own dining room. It's got its own kitchen. Own food storage. Armory, where it stores all the weapons and armor. In the basement, it's where the guys, all the melee dudes train. The captain of the guard, the regular dudes. Here's our dungeon. In our dungeon is a guy who destroyed a furniture item in the deity of scholarship's temple. So the deity of scholarship cursed him. So he is chained up in a sealed room, repeatedly turning back into a were-coyote and then back into a dwarf and then back into a were-coyote. Every time there's a full moon. And every time he transforms, it resets his thirst and hunger so he can't die. He's trapped in a hell where he must simply stop thinking. A fate worse than death. Here's the armory where the guards sleep, the soldiers sleep. Here's the private washroom for the nobles. It's just to the right of the throne. To the left, we had a worm man join the fortress. He petitioned to join us. We said, sure, worm man, sounds cool. So he is a worm man bard. He is our fortress performer. He plays the bagpipes day and night. He is so cool. I gave him his own room within the castle so he can enjoy living a life of luxury. Here's the manager off to the side. The Worm Man Bard is awesome. A Worm Man Bard playing the bagpipes is cool. I don't care what you have to say. Here's an interesting statue. A lot of these statues, they're like dedicated to a noble being appointed or whatever. With this statue, I already know it's the statue of the creation of the founding of the fortress. Let's see. Mayor's room, Captain of the Guard's room, Baron's rooms. Everyone has 2 rooms. If they're important, they get 2 rooms. The Captain of the Guard gets 2 rooms. The Baron gets 2 rooms. The Queen gets the big ass room in the front. We managed to get the Queen to join us. And all the Queen does is just sit around and just read. Which is cool. I made her a scholar, so I saw that she is basically bored with life. not being able to master her craft. She just has nothing to do, so I just have her. Is that her right now? No, that's the chief medical dwarf. The queen just reads books and stuff, just sits around reading books like a queen should. A good queen. All good queens in games like to read books in peace. And I was giving myself the challenge to make sure that she would not get harmed by a zombie like literally everyone else has been. And it's been, no harm has befallen her, so we're pretty good. Let's see, I have these rooms. These rooms are a little too big. Here's a balcony here. I was gonna have people sit and eat stuff for a balcony because it looked cool in my mind. Here's the rooms where the guests were staying. Yeah, it's just, it's a tavern over here. The apartment blocks, they're let's see, there's 10 per side. These are apartment blocks. Each building houses 40 dwarves. They have their own wells each. I was actually giving them each a window because I thought that would be cool. I like to make bedrooms with the prospect of giving them a window because it looks cool. I like to imagine that my dwarves like to look outside. Not that much room for this much space anymore because a lot of the dwarves died and I can't replace them, which is great. I also can't get anyone to play instruments except the Wordman Bard who carries his bagpipes with him. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. No one's using these stationary instruments. No one's using the portable instruments. Don't know why. And they're performers too. I have signed the rules. Oh, speaking of kitchens, it's a bitch to butcher animals in a haunted area because you have to basically kill an animal twice. After you butcher it, its hair and skin comes to life and tries to kill you. But thankfully, since the update a long time ago, Toady made it so a hair, like a single strand of hair that's been zombified, cannot just massacre everyone in the fortress. So, or not massacre everyone, but it's at least invincible. So anyone can you just flick a hair or kick the skin that comes back to life and it just crumples over and ceases moving. And that's kind of fucked up to imagine. It's kind of fruited up. Okay, from now on, not going to swear anymore. I swear too much. It's too vulgar. I just don't like the way that I talk. It's like fruit. I'm going to say fruit. Shish kebab. Oh look, that were-coyote turned back into a dwarf. I hope he enjoys his hell before I destroy this world. Yeah, there's sewers here. Sewers, yeah, with flood controls. There's all the levers inside the center there. It's a pretty intricate sewer system, if I do say so myself. The sewers, like, even diverges off to give the nobles their own washroom. It's still filling up from cavern rivers up above. I gotta make this fast. Make this faster. Okay, so the castle walls, I thought it'd be cool. A castle deep under... I mean, if you got a bunch of things living underground, you gotta build a big-ass traditional, conventional castle with its own moat. And I was actually going to dig out the ceiling above it, so it was actually going to have pointed roofs, and it would have looked cool. Sadly, that will not happen until my next game, if that next game happens. I also have... I have this rigged to collapse, so I just never felt like doing it. You gotta clear out all the dwarves, and it's gonna be a fucking huge collapse if I remove the support from... Why am I still pointing at this monitor in real life? No one can see this except me. What am I pointing at? Gotta use the cursor. this this whole floor here can collapse, and it will destroy the shit out of all this. I didn't feel like fixing it, so I never demolished it. I like giving all these dwarves in their bedrooms their own tables and chairs. They actually use the tables and chairs. It's like you see this dwarf, he's eating, they eat in their own rooms if you give them tables and chairs. It's cool. Yeah, those catacombs, that was a stupid idea in a haunted area. I just thought it wouldn't be a problem because the other catacombs, the first ones, don't have zombies. But I would have to have a soldier stationed in the church and patrolling this room so that a random zombie didn't just kill a meditating dwarf and just walk into the street. Speaking of zombies, no one's doing anything about this guy. That's another thing with this bug. They will not haul these animals and things that get trapped in the cages so that we can put them next to the hatches to throw them down a hole to get rid of them. So like this zombie dwarf has been sitting here for years. Ridiculous. Where do we throw the stuff? Okay, let me tell you how I deal with the zombie problem and the extreme bullshit CPU FPS problem that comes with tons and tons and tons, thousands of things dying and forming mountains of dead shit. It takes a toll on the CPU, and it's good to just get rid of the shit so it doesn't... Oh, look at that, I'm swearing again after the shish kebab. Okay, so you can't just form a garbage dump and just throw stuff down a hatch. So I had to build this minecart system. It's empty right now. Hey, there's a guy loading it right now. So we load refuse, garbage, and corpses into this minecart here, this rectangle. It comes down here, hits this pressure plate. It unloads into this pit here, and then it comes back around. It's just it's just the right length to not have to be pushed again, so it comes back around with just one push. It does its job. It's great. It's great. This is a giant drawbridge. The pressure plate, activated by the minecart, temporarily opens the drawbridge, and then it closes just with enough time to dump all the stuff that will be sitting in this room. And the stuff dumps into this magma sea way below. We don't have to worry about magma mist. If there's any flying zombies, flying monsters, the drawbridge keeps them out. It's basically like a blast door, just temporarily open so we can dump the stuff into the magma sea to incinerate it so it'll be gone forever, and we won't have to worry about things flying up and attacking through there. And that's how we incinerate stuff. Speaking of the magma sea, it leads into here, which is our magma forge. There's so much adamantine here. There's so much goddamn metal. The only thing we don't have is iron. Somehow. Don't know how. We have and gold. We can't make iron and gold. We don't have any veins. We just make tons of silver and copper and lead. And we also import tons of sand, and we go to the glass furnace here, and we make all of our windows. We have tons of windows. I bet we still have windows. Yeah, still have some left over. So store all the ore here, store all the bars here. This is the temple to the god of metal, I think. Let me see. Definitely should be the statue. Deity of metals, yeah. And here is the slab dedicated to the minor dwarf who had to die. He died right here. He died right there. I built it directly on top of where he died. He had to sacrifice his life to breach this, to breach over here. And he dug this out, channeled it out, hit the wall, it filled out. Here's his steel pick. He was incinerated instantly. A noble sacrifice so we could utilize the great bounty of Nagba. The thing that dwarves have a sexual fetish for, aside from mountains and metals and jewels. What the hell is this? What the heffel is this stockpile? Oh, this is where this is where all my gosh darn gems are going. That's why they weren't sending them down to this. This is the gem workshop. I was wondering where all the gems were going, and now I've just figured it out. Let's go to the rest of this stupid city. Clothesworks. I was gonna trap spiders and have them run free down here, and we're gonna collect their silk, and that didn't happen. We take the animal hides, take them right over here, tan the hide here. Most of the hides become zombified. Most of the hairs become zombified, so we can't tan a lot of the hides. We can't spin a lot of the hair into thread. But we get some of them. We also take the animal fat, put them right in the soap maker. Take the ashery right here, put it right in there when we want to make. Or wait, we make ash here. Take it right up. Shut up. I don't care. Who cares about soap? Craft dwarf stuff there. The wood, the carpentry. We barely go to the surface because there's zombie ravens and it's always on fire up there. And there's monsters everywhere. It sucks up there. We don't go to the surface anymore. We left the doors open. We leave the doors open with a couple dwarves standing guard because we had the illusion that we were still getting visitors, and we didn't realize that we lived in a doomed world where we could no longer get migrants and visitors. See, there's a dwarf right there standing guard. Legendary swords dwarf. They have a legendary military where soldiers randomly drop like flies. That's another thing. My dwarves apparently randomly kill each other in bar fights. They randomly get into an argument and then kill each other. So that's another thing that was taking a toll on my population, is dwarves just fist fighting all the fudging time and killing each other brutally. Great. And real life fights can be deadly like that. You can kill someone with a punch. You can knock them down and kill them. Don't get into fights. You're stupid. Fights are stupid. You shouldn't get into them. People don't realize how dangerous a fight is. It can really kill you. Okay, so here's my furniture. Here's finished goods. Here's the stoneworks where the game is bugged, so I can't move stone to the gosh darn fudging stone stockpile. So it's a pain in the Alps to put stuff here. Fudge it. Is that it for the city? I think I actually covered everything. Oh yeah, here's the statue. Here's all the bookcases in the library. I can't get these what's another A word? These you apricots, you apricot holes will not write books and copy books. Even though I have some people, just like 100 full-time scholars, it won't. They won't. They're not pumping out books. I want to read the books. Books are cool. I love reading the books that my dwarves write. I don't have them. All we have is a book that we had to buy from another civilization. And it was just a book on minerals. The dwarves will actually write books, and you can kind of read the title of the book and what the book is about, and it's just awesome. They write about like my queen reads and is currently researching economics. Yeah, a lot of them meditate on reproductive behavior, which is apparently has yielded no fruits to research. Hospital. It's got a well right in the center. Chief Medical Dwarf's office is there. There's a waiting room that I never put chairs and a desk in. So whatever. There's so many statues all over the roads, and dwarves keep having tantrums and destroying the statues, and then I gotta lock them in the dungeon next to the were-coyote. And elf diplomat, you knife ears, son of a butch. Is that an engraving of the worm, dude? Oh, it's a Wolverine man, not a worm man. Nothing more disappointing than seeing a lowercase W and it's a Wolverine man, not a W worm man. Oh man, that's the saddest thing about this is losing the worm man bard. He hasn't even really done anything cool. It's just, whatever. There's a brush titan. It's the cockatrice that breathes fire. It's eternally flying in the air, battling zombie ravens that also keep spawning in the air. Oh, look at that. The trees are still birding. They're all birding. Everything's birding. Awesome. It doesn't... Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? The water isn't even done filling up. Stupid. Look at all these water wheels that I built to generate enough power for the screw pump stack located here, because the water flows from up here down to here, and then it goes back up. Look at you. You realize I actually had to manually by hand to do this crap. It was... I hate pump stacks. That's why I'm going to find a volcano site next time. The water dumps out here. It dumps out where we draw the water from. Cycle of life. Perfect cycle. Is that it for the underground city? Stupid city. This is where we were building the temple to the deity of rivers and wealth. And we were going to have this underground big river pool in the shape of the wealth icon, which is that star thing there, here. But that never happened. Oh well. Apparently it hurts your frame rate to have these giant open areas, but that's just a sacrifice I'm willing to make for cool. The rule of cool. What's all these people doing here? I do have at least one guard watching the throne room at all times. Gotta protect our nobles. Gotta protect the queen. Nothing better than living underground and having the ruins of the last town you started in up above that no longer is used. And then the main course is the underground city that has its own crazy castle, conventional castle with its typical stuff. It's actually not a great castle. I was basically just kind of building the castle from Dragon's Dogma. Emphasis on kind of. Everything's still a square. Yeah, well, I like squares. It's great. It's cool to be a square. You ever heard that song? It's cool. It's cool to be a square. I mean, I made a circle temple there. The towers are kind of circles. I like squares. I hate you. Yeah, I think not swearing is helping my vocabulary. It just feels so lowbrow and stupid. I swear that much. So, yeah, in comparison to all the other dudes I play games with, they don't swear nearly as much, if at all. I just feel like a rapscallion by comparison. I need to change my mannerisms to unrefined. Here's our underground pasture. The animals are overpopulating like crazy, and I cannot kill them fast enough. And now it just doesn't even matter, so who cares? Let them all die. All these rabbits and yaks. Also, the yak is the perfect livestock. You can shear it, you can milk it, you can eat it. Perfect livestock. And you can take its horns to make horn stuff. Wait a minute. I left the opening to the caves open. Yeah, it's always a bloodbath when we open the caves. Like, I have to have my full 30 dwarves cleaning out caves, but usually one legendary dwarf can really screw all these people, all these zombies up. Cleansing the zombie menace. I tried walling off all the crap, walling off all the edges of the map, which was a good idea because there's a forgotten beast right here next to my livestock and the stairs. And I trapped like 5 forgotten beasts behind walls. So, sorry about the shippy FPS. It's, I'm never gonna play this game again until I install what's happening? Something is, yeah, I get these random messages about trees falling over because they're on fire. Yeah, I'd better pause the game so I can hear that stupid stuff. Look at that, there's a guy washing himself up in there. If Toady ever implemented plumbing, like going to the bathroom, it would work on this fortress because the sewer system has clean flowing water. It flows away from the apartment blocks, so they would have their own. Where the people would be drinking the water is closer up north. The nobles get like fresh, clean water, like first dibs. They're the first well that gets touched by it. The hospital gets clean water. Also, you gotta dig the tile underneath each well an extra tile deep, so that mud can collect on the floor. I found out. I didn't know this. So that they can have clean water. The mud needs to congregate on a tile lower, or else they'll be drinking muddy water and hate it. So that's something to keep in mind. How many times am I gonna say What's this guy doing? Actually storing stones. I bet he's storing Galena. Galena. There's so much silver, it's ridiculous. Actually made a lot of furniture, especially for the nobles. Made their tables and chairs and doors and statues out of silver. Made the throne out of silver. I was trying to make an adamantine throne, but then our blacksmith died, and now I'm training another one. We lost all of our smiths, basically, to random zombie attacks and suicide. So many people committing suicide around the fortress. It's funny. So much fun. So much fun with all capitals. Oh. Okay. This is where we draw the water in from the lake. I also put in a little irrigation system, this little floodgate here to divert some water, to temporarily flood it, and make some mud and soil on this cavern floor, so that we could move our farming operation from having to go all the way to the surface, which takes a long time to get to, have it down here. What else? Trying to get this over with. This is a bloodbath capturing this area. There's like this island on this cavern. We had to mine out a wall so we could walk over. As soon as there's an opening to your fortress, the zombies will immediately all start pathfinding across the map into your fortress, so you have to be ready. So we massacred them with just a handful of dwarves. It's cool to watch. It's always cool to watch. I think each of my military dwarves, they let's take a look. I lost one of my captains. It's sad. I think. Unless I reloaded out of rage. 86 kills for this adamantine short sword. Man, look at all these zombies this sword killed. Yeah. All kinds of animals. 13 zombie crumbles, voracious cave crawler, 24 zombie creeping eyes. It's awesome. Let's look at some more military dwarves. Champion. Yes, the champion. I believe this is the person with the highest amount of kills. 152 kills. Yeah. There's actually one dwarf who single-handedly killed 3 zombie trolls. Killing 3 zombie trolls is not easy. He did it. I didn't think he would do it, but he did it. That's what's so amazing about realistic, randomly generated stuff like this. When something insane happens like that, it really resonates with you as if it happened, I guess, realistically. You get a realistic emotion from watching them do something so great. Yeah, it's awesome. Don't need to say more about it. So done with this fort. I might do a tour every time I do a fortress where I just try to do a crazy project like this. This underground city. This is the only underground city I've attempted that was actually kind of working. The only thing that stopped it was the game getting shish kebabbed. There's another well. There's a site of great battle happened here. Yeah, this is it. Let's see, this is the entrance to another cave system. Yeah. Oh yeah. Getting flashbacks already. Right here, it's covered in cobwebs now. There's still zombies everywhere. But right here, this was like Dwarf Vietnam in this area. I had all my dwarves stationed right here. This is how we cleaned out this area, the caves, and then we quickly gave up because it was too crazy. I just stationed my 20 melee dwarves. Oh wait, no, I think I had my ranger dwarves there. Yeah, 30 military dwarves, 20 melee. They also waited a while to forge like at least 20 suits of adamantine armor and adamantine weapons. And I just stationed all my soldiers right here on this plot of land. And they were just being charged at by like hundreds of zombie beasts from every direction. It was the most brutal thing I ever watched. I recorded it and then I realized this is just letters running at each other. No one cares about this. It's not interesting to watch. but it was like zombie Vietnam. Man, I can't even describe. It was really brutal. We actually it was zombie Vietnam because we got such a ridiculous body count of zombies, like hundreds of zombies, and maybe like 100 zombies, but still. A thing to take into account is zombie Moneras. A Monera is a giant head with a giant sharp-toothed mouth with 4 limbs, and it climbs on ceilings, and it is a butch to kill, especially as a zombie. Like zombie Moneras are, I can't even describe. They are almost invincible. It takes like a month in the game of stabbing it with an adamantine weapon to kill it, and we were being attacked by several, and they have some pretty serious attacks on them too, especially their mouths. Most of these things in the caves have ridiculous mouths. They will just rip your limbs off easily. And because of the update where Toady added force behind blows, just because your armor stopped like a blade or something, your armor blocked something, doesn't mean that you blocked the force of the blow. So someone hitting you with a hammer, you still get the force of the hammer hitting you through the armor. You just don't take it to the skin. You still get your bones broken and your neck twisted. Someone smacks you across the face with a mace. Your head spins and breaks your neck. We actually pushed really deep. These caves, oh my, they're totally covered in webs. Don't even know how zombies are moving around down there. These caves were brutal. It was really hard to keep the dwarves from just what is that? Is that a forgotten beast? What? Great blob composed of ash. Wait. Why aren't the zombies fighting? The forgotten beasts have been at war. The forgotten beasts, the titans, all the monsters have been at war with the zombies every time. And now the zombies are just congregating around. Is it? It's not zombified, is it? I think it is. It's a blob made of ash. I don't know how that works, but I'm guessing they just hit it once and it collapsed and then it revived. Because ash is a weak material. If it's a weak material, the monster will fall apart easily. I had such a problem with dwarves running off into the caves and dying to random things. So then every time you close the gate and you seal it off or you put them behind a burrow, they would just stand around refusing to do anything except nourish themselves and trying to stockpile things that they can't reach, which is a great mechanic. We got attacked by like 3 waves of goblins, and then they gave up forever. We actually had a dragon. The dragon's corpse is still over there. Surprisingly, it didn't get zombified. A zombie dragon is it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's all capital letters fun. F-U-N. The dragon totally screwed these goblins up. Screwed them. They actually wiped out an entire army of goblins. Like, we're practically unsiegeable because the hostile environment is too brutal on any army. Like, they can't even reach us. Even if they do reach us, we just mow them down with bolts. So, it's like a perfect area to put your underground city. You gotta go through such a treacherous environment to get to it. So most armies get totally shafted. Did I cover everything? I know I'm going to be forgetting something, and it's going to make me so mad. I was going to have, like, magma or some water, put waterfalls around, especially in the throne room. I was going to have a little river, maybe waterfalls, because Dwarf is like waterfalls. Just going to put some waterfalls around the area to help with the bad moods constantly happening and the suicides. Waterfalls, I don't know. Waterfalls are pretty relaxing for me to look at. I don't know if I was looking at them all the time. People committing suicide left and right from the zombie attacks. Zombie attacks were so ridiculous. They were so ridiculous. We actually had zombies just flooding out of the caves down this street, just battling them right in this road in front of the library. Even if something took the city, the nobles would be safe. The fortress could live on from within the castle. You just have the archers patrolling the walls and just shooting at the people standing around the castle moat. The fortress would live on. No, that would be the backup plan if we lost the city. Still had more plans. I had so many plans for this. I'll just recreate an exact. I'll just remake the city, just rebuild it in a better area, actually improve it. So I kind of made it unsymmetrical here. It's on a. Let's see. How do I describe this grid? I don't know how to describe this. It's like everything is by threes like this, but separated by ones. This entire fortress is like the totally governed on this. It's totally meant to be symmetrical. That's why all the roads are 3x3. The rooms are 3x3. It's just like everything is molded around this. All alterations still adhere to the 3x3 grid. I guess that would be 3x3. Still, I don't know. That'd be like that. It could be 7x7 if you have two of them together. See, even this castle adheres to the 3x3. Everything is symmetrical. I love symmetry. I love symmetry so much. I make swastika patterns out of a lot of shit, isn't it? I usually would have swastika patterns. I think I had a picture of my old fort that used swastika patterns in the last fort of the glass pyramid that I tried building, which didn't work out. But this time I'm just doing 3x3. I'm obsessed with underground cities, underground castles, the Dwemer. I kind of would have liked the idea, like the sewers. The sewers are great, by the way. The water is, there's grates. Like, people ask me, why do you build sewer systems? Well, I lost one fortress to flooding one time. So that's a lesson learned. Now, if this fortress, that's almost at the bottom of the earth, by the way, it's just right above hell, it will get flooded. Anything that comes down the stairs will flood. So there's plenty of sewer grates that go down. It'll just flood into the sewers. There's plenty of walkways for people to walk around. Sewer grates so people can crisscross. Floodgates to control the water, control where it goes, control what gets water and what doesn't. And to like dry out the sewers in case a child falls in and we have to bury them. Or not bury, but incinerate their bodies. Did I go over that? The lava incinerator? Yeah, we just incinerate all of our bodies now, so we don't want to deal with the zombies. And then we just engrave slabs. Yeah, I already went over that. This is our wealth, though. Total created wealth. What is it? It's 37,200,000. It's not bad. Everyone's just beating the crap out of each other. Has a stockbroker been doing his job? Body parts. Oh crap! I forgot. If you go over a huge number like this, the game actually locks up for a second, and it has to. Yeah, screw that. The game will actually lock up because it's calculating every of that object type on the map to find it. So I think we're almost done here, thankfully. I had so many more plans. The castle is so empty because I couldn't get around to it. We can get around to the next one though. Someone doesn't have a window there. Yeah, but I'll keep the save file though. No point in going over the personalities of the dwarves and their dumb statues. It's like it's all, who cares about the history? Queen gets an artifact, or artifact, whatever. I think I just went over this. I have so much adamantine, by the way. Ridiculous adamantine. Let me hit all my hotkeys, see if I'm missing anything. I think I went over it all. So that is Arrowbelted, the haunted underground city. Sucks that it didn't get destroyed by an invading army or a ridiculous monster. Apparently, if I retire the fort, come back and take the fort again. I went into adventure mode. I actually walked to the fort. There's a bunch of abandoned other fortresses around this area. I guess they all moved here. But the civilization is still populated, so that's not the reason that we're not getting migrants. It has to be because of the update. The update has something to do with visitors being buggy. So that's got to be it. What was I just talking about? Just lost my train of thought. Oh, I came back. I picked the fortress back up after being an adventurer, and there was like 200 merchants in the area, and they weren't citizens either. So there's just 200 people just standing around eating food and doing nothing. And also, if you retire the fort and come back, your furniture will be scattered, and you have to reassign everything. And as you can see, I have tons of furniture, and I don't feel like doing that again. I'd rather just start over with a new CPU, so it's faster, and we'll make this. The dream is alive. We'll make the dream live. The underground city. You have not seen the end of it. It's just going to take months of me leaving the computer on in the background. It took this months, and it will take that months. So I'm going to get this out of the way. It takes months for me to make a Dwarf Fortress video. That's why I don't do them. Because I barely play this game. But when I play this game, boy, I play it. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm severely autistic at this game and Space Station 13. I take pride in that. That's what you're supposed to let your autism loose. It's only limited by the fact that this game doesn't support multi-threading. So I have a very unoptimal fort for... Animals are starved to death. Whatever I'm not talking about, I don't care. The dwarves, my dwarves don't reproduce either, so that's not an option. So that's great. There's no way to repopulate our numbers, so this fortress is done. We're just gonna gradually die off. It's not worth it. And if I retire, I actually was going to retire the fort, come back, and I actually tried to reassign all the furniture, but the forgotten beasts, all the ones that I have stuck behind walls, and the ones that are lingering around the sides of the map, those will actually be scattered throughout the fortress and just mass murder everything as soon as the fortress starts again. As great of a challenge as that is, that's kind of impossible to fight several fire-breathing monsters. Yes, I save scum when I'm dealing with bullcrap, but hey, that's just me. We can't even mitigate the amount of FPS death, that the amount of corpses. Like, our livestock reproduces so fast that it just creates a mountain of dead bodies that we have to incinerate. We've probably incinerated like 3,000 objects. That includes all types of body parts, all things which have to be incinerated as well. So that was Arrowbelted, the Haunted Fortress. The Haunted Underground City. I will try to do better next time. But I think that's it. I can't wait to find out that I missed something and slam my face into my desk. That was Arrowbelted, the Haunted City. The Haunted Underground City. That truly was Arrowbelted, the Haunted Underground City. The Dwarf Fort. Truly, we are a dwarf fortress. Okay, screw it. Can't wait to check this recording and see that it's just a black screen. Then I'm gonna blow my brains out.